Next at the movies, the Nazis fight with a 600-year-old monster in a castle in Romania.
What's happened is that what was repressed within the keep is spreading into the village.
Our next movie is named The Keep, and it's named after the most interesting element in the film, which is a castle keep built into the side of a mountain in Romania. The creepy thing about the keep is that it's been constructed not to keep some enemy out, but to keep something else inside, something mysterious. Well, during the war, the keep is occupied by Nazi troops, and one of them makes contact with a strange inhabitant of the keep who's been living in it for about 600 years and looks like one of those Marvel comic superheroes with a muscle-bound body and eyes that glow like red coals. This is the kind of guy Spider-Man would come up against. This creature inspires a great deal of pseudo-profound quasi-supernatural gobbledygook in the movie, and here's a good example.
I never thought I'd see you alive again. Now we can get out.
Not yet. Mikhail told me you didn't leave. You were right.
Mikhail's going crazy. What's happened to this place?
I can't help Mikhail.
What's happened is that what was repressed within the keep is spreading into the village.
Who are you? What do you know about it?
I know that you have bound yourself to him, that you have agreed to carry the talisman out.
It's the sorcerer.
It is not his. It is what keeps him inside the walls, and if you carry it out, he will be released into the world of men.
What is happening in the world is worse than anything he could do.
He is the same, and he's worse.
That's the actor Scott Glenn there. He does a pretty good job in this movie of being probably the only actor alive who can say some of the lines he's given to say without cracking into a silly grin. The Keep is actually two movies rolled into one. The story of the movie is so absurd we can never take it seriously, not even within the terms of a thriller. We just have to kind of, you know, feel that it's ridiculous and accept it on that level. But the visuals and the soundtrack in this movie are very well done. The director, Michael Mann, does a good job of making the keep look subterranean and spooky, and he has a lot of dramatic visual effects that are fun to look at, but the ending of the movie is a silly apocalyptic confrontation between good and evil. And you know what it reminded me of? Those intergalactic battles in science fiction comic books, which are so spectacular they can't be contained within one panel. The guys have to hurl thunderbolts all the way from one page to another.
Yeah, I think you got about 15 minutes of a good movie right toward the end when there is this big confrontation. Other than that, it's a little pathetic actually to be using this Nazi and those are two Jews waiting out there, and to use that all for the sake of just this explosion and these light waves. I found that a little bit quite distasteful, and then the movie wraps itself up so quickly after we have all the lightning shower that I've sort of felt cheated.
There's one shot in the movie. You were talking about the one shot in the Burt Reynolds movie. There's one in this one where one of the soldiers breaks through a wall, and we see him, there's a shot, and it shows him looking into the void, and then the camera pulls back
that's a great
what looks
shot.
like about 6 miles down into the void until he's just a little dot, and you realize whatever is inside here is so big and so empty and so threatening. But then the problem is your imagination has created a greater and more interesting inhabitant for the keep than the director can give you. So when you get the guy, he just looks kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, covered with carbon plating. It's just not that interesting.
Okay, so much for The Keep. Finally, two more downturned thumbs for The Keep. The confusing special effects spectacular that has more lightning bolts than credible characters.